So hi everyone. In the last class, what we seen about RBAC, role-based access control. So in that, we have privileges. So like select, insert, update, delete, usage, all, and on the database schema table on the options. So what are the roles? Like we have different types of roles. Okay. So admin role, manager role, and list role. Okay, so what are the users like? Okay, admin user, manager user, and list user. So I am the one user, Madhu is. So RBC, role based access control. Okay, so we have created different users, and we created table, and we create the users and roles, and we given access to the roles to the users, and we log in and we check everything. Okay, so today what we are seeing, we're going to see about data masking policy. So what is data masking policy? So for in real time, we're going to use this for data protection. Okay, data protection. We're going to use the data masking policy. Okay, so in Snowflake, we can mask the data dynamically. So dynamically we can mask the data in Snowflake. Okay, so there are two types of policies. Like one is like uh, so data masking policy. So this is usually we can call like column level policy. So column level security. This one. Next one, like row access policy. The row access policy. This one we can say, so row level security. Okay? Row level security. So this is two types. We have dynamically we can mask the data. So what is data masking policy? In the data masking policy, so we're going to mask the data column level security. So second one is row access policy. Okay, it is we going to mask the data row level security. Okay, so row level security. So what is exactly data masking security technique? Uh, where we going to use in different projects. Okay, so to impart like to hide sensitive data, to hide sensitive data, like you have like salary. Okay, then PAN, okay, Aadhaar, so Aadhaar, then credit card numbers we can, and email and phone numbers, phone numbers. Okay? Then EPC. So these are not able to see it for every user. Who need to see these details, they only can. So what is exactly like key points for this one, this data? Okay. So when we mask the data, actual data, okay, it remains unchanged in the storage. Changed in the storage. So it won't change in the storage when we mark the data. So masking happen. Okay. So in select only when we select the query, when we select the uh, query or query time. Okay. So query time in that only it's going to apply, not every time. Okay. So how are you going to see output or for output for different users? For different users, we're going to see different output. So I'm admin analyst. Okay. There will be manager for different users. It's going to show like different data. Okay, so where you going to use like use it for like, so in Snowflake you have like GDPR and HIPAA and so PCI and DSSS. So like in that complicates law, we are going to use this complicates. So here what we going to types of data masking? Usually, static data masking policy. So this one, like the data is going to change, permanently change. So it means whatever we are receiving from the source, so permanently it will be going to change the entire data. That is static data mask policy. So this is going to use in the in non-production environment. So non-production environment. Okay. So it means we don't have production environment. So in that uh, places in the project, so they are using static data masking policy. So we are not using in the Snowflake the static data masking. Okay. So we are using dynamic data masking. So using the Snowflake. So what is the dynamic data masking policy? So dynamically means we can mask multiple ways. Suppose there is one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, right? So it's going to visible for one user completely, and for another user going to like this, and another user is going to so visible like this. So this is we are masking data, same data. So we are masking dynamically. Okay, it going to visible to as like a role based. So suppose admin you can see every data, and the manager you can see like this, and analyst you can see like this. So like that we're going to use, okay, role based visibility. So here we are not duplicating data. Okay, so here no duplication data. So no duplication data. Okay, we are masking. Okay, it won't change the this data. So but in static it going to change the permanently, but it going to change role based only. On the roles based we going to change the data. Okay, so next, what is column level policy? Okay, so that is we have done like static masking and data types of one dynamic data mask. So now we're going to see what is column level masking policy. So the complete like we can call it data masking policy. So column means we have data, right? So we have rows and columns in the table, right? So we need to mask the in the column level and also in the row level also. Okay. So this is column security. So we can call like masking policy. Okay, here. So it's like column security policy that controls how column values are displayed to users based on the roles or conditions. So already we know, right? We have suppose we have a table like customer table having customer ID, customer name, email, phone, salary. So here customers table. Okay. So in that we have columns. Okay. So customer ID, okay. Then okay. So customer name, then email, then we have phone number, and we have salary. So what are the sensitive columns in this data? What are the sensitive columns in the about data? About table. We have email, phone. Okay, email, phone. What we have? Salary. The teaching. So these are sensitive columns, right? Actually, what? Operation. ఒకసారి ఓపెన్ లైట్ వెళ్ళి so these are sensitive columns: email, phone, and salary. So what are the masking techniques we have? Okay, so masking techniques. So here we have like full masking. So it's going to be like this is full masking. So one more thing like partially masking. It's going to visible to so one more user like it's going to visible latent member like so this is partial masking and we have null mask. So null mask is going to show like this. Now, then we have a default mask. Default. So default masking like so this one like maybe zero. So uh, like it's significant uh, like this. These are techniques we're going to use when we are masking the data. So full masking, second one partial masking, third one so null masking, fourth one like default masking. So these are the techniques. Already know. So how we going to create the policy? Okay. So usually the syntax is so I have two roles. One is like uh, analyst role and next we have admin role. So, so here I have one table. Okay. So customer table. So how I create or replace. Okay. So masking policy. So masking policy. So here what we apply. Create or replace masking policy. So here we give the policy name. Policy name. So like salary mask is the policy. Create or replace masking policy. So salary mask. So then here we need to pass the one value. So as keyword. Okay. So here value that is value means that is a salary column is the value here is salary. So data type. So data is number. Okay. Then what it going to returns? Going to return number. Okay. So here we are writing the case statement. So case uh, when current role. Okay. So here we are giving current role. Current role means to which we are using. That is a current role. Okay. So like suppose I have admin role. So then value means here we passing right value. So value is going to take the so on which table we are applying in that one column. Like suppose I'm applying on the salary column, salary or SSN column, SS, phone number and email. On which column we're going to apply. So that is the column. Okay, value in that column name. Okay, value equal to that column name. So what is inside in that column? Value is the so that is the value. So in columns we have data, right? Values, right? So that is the in that column. Okay, in that customer table salary column value. Okay, so that value salary like 50,000. The 50,000 is the so value here. Okay, then value how they going to see the value. So here when current role okay admin role then value okay else okay so any other role okay it going to show null and end semicolon. So this is in this is a syntax for creating a so masking policy. In intro they will ask what is the syntax for the create the masking policy. Okay? Create or replace. So simply masking policy create or replace masking policy. So policy name So you have value number, returns number. So case statement, current role in admin role, then value. Okay. Else null value. Okay. If any other except suppose I have enlisted admin role, right? When admin role using the account when he's working admin role, so then it's going to show the enter the value salary days. So when an interest row else null, maybe like any other row, it's going to show like the null values. Okay, and end this way. So after creating policy, what we need to do? So after creating the policy, so apply. Okay, so policy. So applying the policy. So we need to apply this policy on the table. Okay, so how we going to apply? So alter table. So suppose I have customer table. So customer. Okay, then modify and which column we are applying. So modify salary. Okay, that masking policy. Okay, set masking policy. Salary masking. So salary mask. So this is how we did. So after creating the masking policy, we need to use the alter table customer. So modify. Okay. So column salary. I'm modifying the column salary column and set masking. Okay. So masking policy. Okay. Salary masking. Simple. Okay. Set masking policy. Masking policy name. Salary mask will create, right? So this is the way of unit apply. Suppose there is salary like there is two salaries in salary. One is like we have 1 lakh and one more is 40 days, 90,000. Okay, 9 lakhs. So 1 lakh and 90,000. Okay, salary. So 1 lakh 90,000. Suppose when admin role, so it's going to see like when admin is the using admin role, we're going to see output to be like 1 lakh. Okay, then for 90,000. Applicate see data like this and n list enlisted. So for n list role what going to we see, we're going to see data like null, null. These are blocks. So we're going to see like this. So here we created the values. So these are the values. Okay, when admin role you can see the complete values, and when n list role you're going to see the null. Why? Because of here we set it like else null. Okay, when current role admin then value like that. Okay, so this is one way of masking the. So this is like column level masking, right? Column level we are seeing data, it's column level. Okay, so then we have row level second, right? Row level. So row level security, how we going to apply and the row level. Okay, so we can call like row access policy, row this part. So in this we have it going to control the rows. So a row access policy controls which rows a user can see in the table. So we have millions of rows, hundreds of rows, 50,000 rows, right? So which rows can the user going to see? So suppose I have like one table. So employees table I have. So in that I have EMP ID, okay, and EMP name. Then so I have like so salary. Then so department. These are the columns I have. So in employees table, EMP ID, EMP name, salary, department. So I'm creating one policy. Yeah. So this is row level policy. So again, anything to so create or replace row access policy. So this is how we can create or replace. So it's recording, right? To create or replace row access policy. So policy name process policy. So this is the department policy, the policy name. So as keyword again I'm using with okay string. So then I'm giving returns. So that's like boolean. Okay. So boolean is the data type. So are we going to work this see case? Okay. So when so again we are using current role. Okay. So equal to HR row. So HR row. Okay. And we can use a department. Uh, so department equal to HR. HR. Okay. So when current role HR role. So when HR role is working. So and department HR. Okay. Then true. So boolean means what are the values? True or false, right? Yes. Then true. So true means when current role HR role. So column department when we have HR. Then true. We're going to see those data. Okay. So next. Okay, this is one. Then two. Next, like so when again I'm writing. So when current role again. Okay. So equal to okay. So something IT role I'm using. IT role. So here I'm in the again department. So department column. Okay. Then so IT. So department IT is there. So then okay. So else pass. It means whenever only we are in HR role. So for the HR for department HR, we can see the data. For in current role IT role, we have department IT, then we can see. So when we are seeing HR column for department HR, so then true. It means for IT role for department ID, so we don't see the data. So when we are using IT role, we can see the department IT column details, but we can't see department HR details, HR column details. So not so department ID details we can see row level, but we can't see HR details. Here also we can see the HR details, but we can't see the ID details. Okay, then true. Else false. If any other role or even these roles, okay, if you are not belongs to HR role to department HR or IT role to department IT, or if any other roles, so they can't see the data. So we're going to see like else false. They can't see the data. So again, end semicolon. Then we need to go with again we need to apply. How we going to apply? We created the masking policy. Then again alter. So alter table implies. Okay. So add pro access policy. So policy name. Okay. Policy name on department. Department. Okay. So this will be we going to apply alter table implies add row access policy. So this is policy name and department. So then this will be apply. So here how we applied same alternative customer modify column salary. Alter table customer and modify column salary column set masking policy salary mask. So but here alter table implies add, okay, not modify, add pro access policy, department policy, and department. Okay. So in this way, pro access policy. Okay. Uh, so here we have different steps. So for the column level policy, so we are masking the, okay. So we are marking the data. This is masking. Okay. So hides the column one's values. Okay. And the rows still visible. Rows still visible. You can see the rows. So but here row level access to this slide. So hides entire rows. Entire rows, and we here we going to use and data going to filter the data. Okay. So sometimes uh, we can use both. Okay. Row policy, okay, branch wide access, masking policy, account number masking. So how we going to execute it? So in real time we have like banking, healthcare, and HR. In the banking we going to mask the account numbers. Okay. Restrict to branch wise data, or healthcare masking patient identifiers and restricted doctor-wise records, and for the HR masking salary bonus, okay, restricted department-wide access. So like that, we're going to match. Okay? So row policy, branch-wise access masking policy, account number masking. So execution order, first we're going to pass mask the row access policy. Then after we're going to pass the masking policy. Row access policy related to the row level. Okay, it's going to hide the rows. Marking policy, it's going to change the column level data. Okay, so remember. Okay, so in Snowflake, column level is security is implemented using masking policies to hide sensitive data values, and row level security is implemented using row access policy to restrict source. So both are dynamic, role based, and applied at every query time. So it means masking policy means on the column level. Okay, so masking policy is on the column level, but this one row level masking. Okay, so row level masking, row access policy. So masking policy means column level. Remember, masking policy is column level. So row access policy is and row level policy. So row level we going to identify. So this is theory about data masking policy. So masking policy. So row level, column level. Column level means we're going to masking policy. Row level means row access policy. Okay. So now we're going to do practically. Okay. So rejoin with the same link. I'm ending the meeting. Rejoin with the same link again.